Hi. Last Friday, I did not get to record a video. And so this has been 2 weeks now. Like the title says, I had, for the first time in the company, a bookkeeper has quit working with us. This was the most recent bookkeeper that I hired on about a month and a half ago. And, she told me that there were family stresses and issues that made her unable to focus on her work. But I got some insider details from my two other bookkeepers about how it was going with her. And my first bookkeeper, who's been with me since the beginning of the year, basically said that we dodged a bullet by her leaving. I guess in hindsight it's good, but man, let me tell you, having someone quit all of a sudden was a stressful gut punch. Basically, like my last weekend was quite stressful because this third bookkeeper was already working with, a dozen clients, And so then suddenly she can't work with any of them because she didn't give me any notice either. So it was like, okay, well, my two other bookkeepers, man, I gotta thank them so much because they have been such troopers where they have basically said, all right, well, I guess time to batten down the hatches, get the oars, let's keep rowing. That's basically been their response. So I know a clear difference in good employees versus bad employees. Commitment level, even when faced with uncomfortable situations. So I plan on rewarding them for that when I finally find a new person, and that's going to be a new core value now. I did not realize how much of a core value that should be, but it's now going to be one in my company because of just as crazy as it sounds. If you've been watching, I talked about getting a third bookkeeper since May, and so now this new person, whoever it is, will be the fourth bookkeeper that I find to be the third bookkeeper in my company. Fourth person to be my third bookkeeper. It's just, I don't want to do that, and I've honestly had to do some good client management this past week because I've had to tell people that she took off. And for a lot of folks, they have a bookkeeper, they build a relationship, and they don't really want that to be shaken. This is why there's a lot of clients that come to us where they say, yeah, I'm looking for a new bookkeeper because I had one for many years, but she's quit doing bookkeeping. They find someone and they like to keep working with them. And I think the luxury with when someone works with us is they're buying into a company doing it. So yes, it's nice to have the same person all the time, but if they decide to move on with something else in their career or their work or decide it's not a good fit, there's other bookkeepers in our company that can take care of stuff. And it's all within our program of how we do things, not based upon how this specific bookkeeper does it, So I know I got a response from that yesterday with a nonprofit that we work with where they gave us that same response where they appreciated that, and it seemed like we've been very hands-on with them in their first month, and we will be throughout them working with us because they got a lot that we have to work through, honestly. So all through this, my wife has been very understanding of what's happening and only been supportive and encouraging, so I can't thank you enough, Danielle, for that, because I haven't, ever since the 4th, I haven't really been as available, I guess, because I talked about in a previous video how this is going to be my busiest time, and I really haven't been able to work on the kind of system buildings yet that I've been wanting to. This week has actually been a pretty good week, all things considering how last Friday went. Followed up, persistence is so key. after many follow-ups with a couple prospects, we got them in the door and closed them this week, which is fantastic. And got a new person, roofer here in town. They're starting with us today. Today's Thursday, the 20th of July. And yeah, I'm getting through some stuff. I feel like I'm actually getting caught up on action items, which I haven't felt that way for months. So then it will now be time to move on to some of these system building details. Like one of the first steps is, first of all, getting on a big outline all the different things that I do need to build. Just writing that down first, and then start to chip away at the list. Because this week has been full of phone interviews, and it's not only been phone interviews for experienced bookkeepers to replace the third person, but I also actually put out a junior bookkeeper post and a salesperson post. So I've been having some of those conversations too, where I would bring them on probably in September based upon how we're growing. Thankfully, the hiring system I got trained to implement works and has worked consistently. So I scheduled not only just the experienced bookkeeper, but with the two other jobs, I've scheduled 18 different phone interviews, which is pretty nuts. I mean, that was actually my whole morning today. And yeah, this morning I scheduled 7 of them, and funny enough, I'd only considered 2 of them to be good candidates, which, that happens. Been a little bit of a wild last couple weeks, but all in all, things are good. And the people that are in my life are very understanding and helpful and patient. So I can't thank them enough. These 2 bookkeepers, my wife, and our clients especially too, who are, some of them are getting jumped to their 3rd bookkeeper eventually. So that's how it's going. I get better bookkeeping. So take it easy, y'all, and see you next time.